So I guess maybe the first question just is like, what is Simple Numbers, the company, been doing, like our stuff? How have we helped you in your business?
You have helped really give me an understanding of my own numbers, because before that, I know as a business owner, I've paid for bookkeeping, you pay for the expensive CPA, etc. But like, you just get reports and you look at them and it's a bunch of numbers, you don't understand them. And I feel like with your process and your ability to break down in a very logical way what the reports say, as a business owner, it's allowed me to do a better job of knowing my business so I can push forward and elevate everything, really.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's good because that's the whole goal with it for sure, is just to have that understanding of what's going on with the numbers. So we do your bookkeeping. We help you understand what's going on with the financials, bring a little bit of accountability to it as well. What about so we've recently implemented Profit First in your business. How has that helped? Outside of just bookkeeping and knowing your numbers, how's that actually helped?
Yeah, the truth is, I don't think I could have did it without the bookkeeping piece.
Right.
I feel like you have to have the proper understanding of your numbers, and broken down in a real estate fashion really made it helpful for me, because I've always had trouble with people being able to compute it to real estate versus a W-2, etc. So Profit First it's been something I've always wanted to do. I've read it, I loved it, but it was scary to commit to, and especially in real estate, because your numbers change month over month. So Profit First has really allowed me to implement, budgets and save for things. Like, there's so many great real estate agents and teams out there that make hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, but where does that money go? We all spend it.
Yeah.
You make the money and it goes right out the door to invest in more lead generation, more staff, etc. So I think Profit First has forced me to utilize money the way it's supposed to be utilized, so my family has a future and my business remains healthy.
Love it. Yeah, that's awesome. Just very bluntly, would you recommend Simple Numbers to other people, and why?
Absolutely. You're really the first bookkeeping, and it's so much more than bookkeeping though. The accountability aspect is, I think, what takes it to the next level. Anybody can send through a report, but if you don't understand the report, and I know as a business owner, if I don't have someone to kind of keep me in check with that and walk me through, because about 70-80% of the time I'm like, okay, I know my numbers, I'm good, look at the report, but then I think something, but it may not be completely accurate. So having that accountability where you're like, wait a minute, yeah, your expenses are this, but what you're not looking at is your officer pay or whatever it may be.
Right.
That's an additional expense. So having that level of accountability, I would absolutely recommend it. And I can't imagine a business owner that wouldn't do better if they use this with their business. So I will continue to recommend you. I haven't seen a bookkeeper that does it better than you. And, I know I have you on this interview, but honestly, I mean it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, for sure. It's why we do what we do. And so you touched on it before a little bit. Obviously, we do bookkeeping. It's way more than bookkeeping, but coming at it from what kind of value is there, I would say, in having someone who understands the real estate business because we've built one ourselves? Is that a big deal? Is it something that has had big impact, or has it just kind of been something that's been nice to have there? Give me a sense of how you feel about having someone who knows the real estate business.
So I think that was the biggest hurdle in finding the right bookkeeper, CPA, those aspects. All of them, they don't know real estate. They may say they do, but they don't. And when I'm looking at my expenses, my margins, and to be able to talk about it and be able to relate to you, and you understand the difference between, you know, hey, like my model is I run and operate a very large team and we have satellite teams. Our margins are a lot tighter than others. But then also some people, it makes sense to run that small team that has really great margins. So being able to understand that and identify the differences and provide insight based off of that, like, I mean, that was powerful. I
Right.
mean, it's so much more than bookkeeping. Like I said earlier, it's like I have a virtual CFO almost that's able to keep me in check. It's been absolutely instrumental to my rapid growth from, I mean, I think I had 30 agents when I first started with you this year to well over 50 agents. We're expanding to 3 different marketplaces in different states right now. And I don't think I would be able to do that if I didn't have a good pulse on all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. And we obviously appreciate your trust and how we help you through some of those things to navigate through the financials. Cause you're right. I mean, it's not even worth doing if it isn't worth doing profitably. And so I think that's something that, that you're doing well with. I guess finally, you know, what would you say to somebody out there who either has a team, you know, or has a big team, a little team, doesn't really matter, or is thinking about getting into a team and really building this like a business, not just doing real estate sales, because that's who we really tailor to. But they have a bookkeeper and they get reports and they do their taxes at the end of the year, but that's the extent of what they do with their financials. They have money in their account, but that's how they know if they're making money or not. What would you say to them if they're considering hiring us versus just having a bookkeeper?
They absolutely need to set up a call with you. I was blown away when I had that call with you. And I think the most important thing about that call is you follow through with what you say you're going to do. And that's continued to be the problem when I've reached out to different bookkeepers. It's so essential that you have someone that does what they're going to do. Because, I mean, it's easy to get a report. Anybody could throw a Excel spreadsheet report together. But to properly allocate the expenses so you have a true pulse and so you can properly write things off when it is time to have your CPA do stuff,
Right.
is essential. So it's like, schedule the call. I know you do these calls, and
Yeah.
you know, I don't think anybody will be disappointed if they get on that call with you.
Right. Yeah, I don't think so. Well, hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for taking some time to let people know what your experience has been with us. And obviously we value you as a client. And if we can do anything more to help you, obviously let us know. So appreciate that. Anything
Much
else you
appreciated.
need though in the short term, just with, and I don't need to keep recording anything here, but like,
Yeah.